I'm Antonio Vial.
My name is ESCANIFOBÉTICA. We are based in Malmö. We are a couple as well. We've been working together for 14 years.
14 years. Yeah. Like we said, based in Malmö, where we also studied.
Yes. Where to go for? Should I go for it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been here for a residency for 2 months, preparing for this show. We have had the luxury to working upstairs compared to the space we're going to be in. We know this space from before. We were very happy to be invited by Saratan to be able to work here, because it's a space we really, really like, due to its offness and oddness where it's located, and the fact that it has different kind of things going on in it.
It's not a white cube. It has this like domestic store. The architecture is a special architecture. A lot of challenges to work with. So we were looking forward to think about like what is the constellation of things that we're gonna develop, create in order to create a show, which is the result of the residency that we've been doing here.
Yeah, and we have been during this period leading up to this show been thinking a lot about queerness and what it means to have a queer perspective. I think partly because we work the way we work, but also because we are queer ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's how the title of this show came about. Is it better to close the doors a little bit for the audio? Yes.
It's a busy street.
Yes. Well, should we
continue.
So we have named this exhibition ESCANIFOBÉTICA. See, a new word for me I had to learn. It's Portuguese. You want to present the word?
So ESCANIFOBÉTICA, it's a Portuguese slang word from the 50s. It was used by the youth. It's a word that when I was a kid, let's say in the 80s, this word was used. We used it for things that were a bit like clumsy, a bit odd, a bit weird, that can barely stand. Not at all any idea of like a functional or a successful thing. That is not perhaps like the essence of ESCANIFOBÉTICA, which is a word that is like, it's an obscure origin when it goes to language.
It's
perhaps
not that
kind
much
of,
in use anymore. I
Yeah,
think.
not so much usage. I think younger people know the word. Older people might know the word.
You don't know the word, yeah. No.
You don't know the word.
I know.
Yeah, you know the word. I see that.
Yeah, I'm a young person.
Like your goddaughter did not know the word.
No, but perhaps around like 30.
Should we try to close that door also in case of? I'll do it like this. Wait. You stand there and smile.
There is a difference in the sound now. Yeah,
Aha.
definitely.
Also because you have to fight the winds. It's a bit windy today.
So when I started to bring the word to Jesper and explain, like, we have this word. First, he reacted very nicely to the sound of the word.
It's a lovely word.
It's a long word, has this like ESCANIFOBÉTICA. It's like you chew the word.
For me, it sounds a bit like teeth falling out of your mouth.
Yeah, it's just, we started to talk a lot about what is the mood of the show. It felt right.
Yeah.
So we had this umbrella already.
And it's also a word that we thought would speak well to the constellation of works we want to present here in the exhibition. And should we talk a bit about the works? Okay, so we have 2 series, ongoing series.
First, how you access.
I'm getting there.
Go there.
First, we have 2 ongoing series that we're presenting in the show, plus a longer new video, but also site-specific installation for this space, which is these curtains that we have had prepared for the space. Now it's not open for the outside anymore. So the first thing you'll enter through is these kind of like very domesticized, very normal-looking kind of like anti-fly curtains.
Yeah, fly curtains.
And they are like at every opening of the space we're exhibiting, so it's kind of hugging the space.
And these curtains, I don't know, for me being like Portuguese. I grew up and I have a very close relationship to this. You would go to the countryside and you have these fly curtains, especially like in the summer because it's hot, but there's a lot of flies and mosquitoes.
I really associate them with Voyage.
Yeah, and also like I would go to like the butcher with my mom or to the supermarket, and there were the curtains again. So it's this limbo thing between like being on the outside and you step in either a private space or a shop. So
And also because the space again is an off space.
Yeah.
In our eyes. I thought you were going to speak.
and it felt like it was interesting to create something that would hug all the works and the space that we are using
Presenting
to
here, yeah.
present the works. So the curtains came about like that.
Do you want to talk about, well, the curtains are yellow. We had the luck enough, like we're presenting these video works here on these yellow posters also. We're very happy that, lucky enough to have the same yellow. We have been, for some reason, color coding our exhibitions for the last couple of years. It is a thing that has happened. It makes sense for us. Let's just go with it.
A year ago, we had a yellow show in Gothenburg
Gothenburg, yes.
that dealt with
Queerness also.
queerness and in relation to nature and how one experiences nature.
So it just makes sense that this one's going to be yellow as
And
well.
we are still stuck in yellow. Yeah.
Previous has been green, it's been magenta, but now it's yellow. Okay.
So here, the first room.
Do you have any question?
Something you do spontaneously, it's not something you really associate a color to.
I think when we make a show, when we make works, when we make shows, usually we have titles that we present with ourselves. Not necessarily the end titles, but it's like because we have to communicate. And for some reason, yellow in this case have started to symbolize a certain set of ideas for us. So like the next thing we want to do, the next show, I actually just confirmed to that that might not end up being the red show, but I keep talking at it as if it's the red show, because then he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I think it's also a way of like communicating certain like categories of ideas and like moving them around.
It's nice to talk about colors, I think.
Yeah. It's just become natural for some reason.
So you were talking about the series that we
Yeah,
have.
the first thing,
ongoing series.
the first kind of thing you meet sound-wise in space.
So we have the occultistas, so which are these like video carousels, like it's how we refer to them. It's a series that started at the same time that we started our Instagram account. Let's say that we have a project that suddenly fit quite well, starting an Instagram account.
Yeah.
That's how it was. And it goes straight off as being something that we collected a lot of footage with both our mobiles, daily observations, experiments one does, plays, and then we started to edit these videos.
I would call them ESCANIFOBÉTICA observations.
Yeah, scanifobetic observations. So to keep using the words, this adjective. So first we would publish these videos on Instagram.
Using Instagram as essentially a library or an archive to house them.
Like a catalog of the videos that we have been editing and working with. And then when we had the first chance to show this work in an exhibition context, then we selected some videos and constructed this video carousel that works in a loop. So they continuously
swipe upwards, yeah. And we present them on television standing vertically, so they mimic essentially sort of like the digital screen you would have on a phone or an iPad.
And
Not
the
same
name
brands.
and the name is like #occultista because that's how they come about. So
That's how we label. That's how we mark
That's how we
them.
label them. Okay.
And the title is.
It starts with a misunderstanding from Jesper.
I really thought that we had a fortune teller living on our street. I was like, but we have someone who does card readings and things on the street we go to. And I thought it was like, no.
I've sometimes also.
It's just a T.
Also struck me the.
And I thought I was like, no, and
No, we don't have a.
And they had that eye symbol about the shop.
Yeah.
No, that's like eyeglasses.
Yeah.
and it's
But it can be the
oculista.
third eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting idea. This between the lens is both an idea, like the idea of both lens as looking at the world, but also the idea of the esoteric as looking towards the future. So we've been stuck with this occultista.
It just felt like, oh, it's a play on the word. So oculista, occultista. Even us keep sometimes misspelling the things. Like, where's the T now?
And we've been doing them like for a while now, but this is the latest alliteration is number
8.
8.
So the number 8.
Yeah. I want to say also that all the works that we're showing here, even if the work has been, some of it has been collated previously, they've all been finalized and made while we've been at the residency here. So these video carousels are new for this space. One of them is not continuously. It's tudo. All of it is filmed. While in
Yeah,
the
everything
residency.
is filmed. So the number 8,
Yeah.
which is this one, it contains roughly 32 small videos,
Yeah.
and they were all shot while being in
In Lisbon,
Lisbon
yeah.
during the residency.
And right now the volume is turned down, so you will not hear it. But they all have.
This is when we ran out of gas last month.
But they're all turned down volume-wise. But otherwise, you can hear that they're turned down right now for this presentation. But otherwise, you'll hear that they have quite different sounds on them that we make for them. Either like
So because like we said, we record with the video with the mobiles,
Yeah.
and then in the computer we select which footage we want to work, and that is just the beginning, because then we sit and we have to edit the video. Sometimes we cut, we just use a little piece of the visual.
We'll zoom in very harsh sometimes. We take the material for what it is. You'll have it very pixelated sometimes. You'll have it very clear other times.
If you want to put sound just a little bit.
Oh, you want to?
And then the sound, we also discuss what kind of sound we would like to have. Rarely we have exactly the sound that is connected to what we shot. Often is everything from GarageBand in this case, or Foley, that sometimes we do it ourselves, sometimes we go for open source sound files.
Yeah.
It's very random what happens in sound. We just have a feeling
We
what
play-
we want to
we play a
explore.
lot.
Exactly.
It is our way of doing sketchings and small. It's very free to work with because you can allow yourself to do very quick propositions. And then we use also when we do other video works, we can then go back to these very playful ideas and say which things did we, we really like that one, or we can develop that further.
Yeah. Try to keep some sound library.
Exactly. Okay, do you want to go for the figs?
So then we have
the bread one. I love the bread machines here in Portugal.
Continent.
Yeah.
Continent, exactly.
We don't have these in Sweden. Yeah.
This is new here as well. It was.
It's quite new. Yeah.
But they're so aggressive.
I don't know how many times we filmed this. Like every time we go and buy bread, it's like, oh, let's shoot this again. This is so like.
Okay, I'm going to lower the sound again.
I don't even know what this is.
This is a fountain.
It was Mesmigas.
Yeah, exactly. And the water was really hitting the.
It looked like a potato fryer.
Oh yeah, because it looks like oil almost.
Yeah.
But then we're also presenting, together with those videos, we're presenting photos from a photo series called Fig. Fig as in figure from a book or a figure from an instruction manual. Fig dot, and then we'll have the number. And they just keep running upwards. It is a quite new project of ours. We have
Even though it's new, because we started it like 2 years ago,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
it goes back to like our fascination with books since we were in school.
Yeah, very first off.
Like school books, science books, books that have figures that instruct on like how to perform like an experiment in school, for instance. That was like the beginning.
I think there's always been an interest in the relationship between visual image and text, and how that informs ideas about the world, how you inform how to do things.
And also like how interesting the photos that instruct on how to do experiments are supposed to be very clear and very pedagogic and all, but still
Yeah.
there's something that is odd
Yeah.
in them, as if like, but why is this person wearing this? Why the angle? And I don't know. We just kept talking about this, but for years we didn't know what to do with this curiosity that we had until we just decided, let's just play with each other.
Yeah.
And we select a couple of photos and we start by reenact the thing.
Essentially, it's almost like taking the images. We'll take images that we really that talks to us somehow. Then we'll look at them and we essentially you do the exercise. It's like squinting at the image and then trying to say what's going on here and having more like a free associative idea of what's happening, and then use that as a starting ground for playing with them again. And we have been doing lots of this interaction between each other, more performative for these photos. That's something we did. Our very first projects were also performative with each other, so it's a bit returning back to form.
Yeah, it's true. The first collaborations we did were really like very performative.
Yeah.
So it's a nice comeback somehow to, I don't know, it just feels like we don't need to, in this case, the communication is so direct.
Yeah.
Right? And we have no one taking the photos, it's us also taking care of everything.
And running
So
the
it creates a very interesting, I don't know, energy, dynamic.
Yeah. And also, this is the third version of doing it. So we always change what the source material is. We don't usually say what the source material is, but we can say for this one.
Yeah, in this case, it's the first aid books that instruct on how to take care of a wound or someone that fainted or there is an accident, how to perform.
Yeah. And
Diverse
I think
things.
I think we still find it fascinating because there's so much of the language that's retained somehow in the image afterwards, even when it's so elevated away from its original source.
So all the photos are from the same source? In this case?
Yeah, well,
from
for
all
the
are
same
from-
kind of.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah. Because the funny thing is also when you look at instruction manuals or books with these kind of things, often the sources for those things are very wide. Yeah.
Like the same images for the many different editions.
Yeah, and also because they're sometimes picked from other books, like in the same books. It's very ESCANIFOBÉTIC what goes on there as well. It's a matter of practicality versus
And
aesthetics.
And in this case, sometimes it's really like figures with people. Sometimes it's just like a sketch or a drawing or dolls even. So it's very diverse. What is used to instruct on how to perform help.
And these ones were all shot upstairs while staying at the residency also. So they've been in the studio and in the living space upstairs. Yeah.
And we are most likely continuing this
we are
because
continuing.
we run out of time.
Yeah, we want to do more.
Okay, we want to
this
continue
specific
this,
set
but
of them.
we will not be able to continue. And in order to have them ready to the show, it's like,
Yeah.
no, it's like.
It's weird. You think you're gonna have time to manage much more things in 2 months than you think, but then time.
It goes fast.
Do you want to talk about the haircut?
So then we have a video that does not belong to a series. It's called Haircut. Haircut is a video in which you see me cutting my father's hair. Why my father? My father is also your father-in-law.
Yes.
But my father has been a collaborator since 2015, 16
Of the duo.
Of our practice. We have been asking my father to produce objects for us.
Yeah.
And after all these years, we felt that we wanted to have a bit of his presence, a bit of his voice, testimony. So it's
Inscribed in our
inscribe him
practice.
in our practice.
But we tried to do things with him before. This video is shot in half
In December.
profile in December, but it's shot slightly from behind. He knows that it's on video, but the last times we tried to do it, we have had the camera in front of him, and he starts behaving differently because he knows the camera is there. So this time we shot it very differently. We shot it from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't plan so much. It was
Yeah.
just like
Much
deciding.
more relaxed.
Yeah, it's more like we deal with whatever comes out of it.
It's worth mentioning also that your father is quite old by now.
Yeah, he's 92 by now.
Yeah.
And he is quite bad, as you can see in the video, because I repeat the question several times.
But still goes on strong, lives at home,
Yeah.
takes care of himself.
Mhm.
But we thought that it would be interesting to put this video in this constellation of works also because when you're born, you kind of enter life in an escaniphobetic state as well before you become taught to become a proper member of society or how to participate. And as we get older, we age into it again if we have the opportunity to live long enough.
So yeah, escaniphobetic stage before and after a supposed successful life.
Yeah. So
Whatever that is, yeah. And that's kind of it.
We see just 5 minutes.
Let's have a look inside.
Yeah, let's have a peek.
You go first.
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And as the video goes, the video is how long? It is
25 minutes.
25
more or
minutes.
less.
It starts in real time, and as it progresses, it eventually slows down more and more until it reaches like a still frame.
Video still.
Oh yeah, we just got the part where he first said he wants longer hair on top of the head, and then halfway through he's like, "It's taking too much time. Just take it all."
Yeah, and then the funny aspect that I grew up and it was my father that cut my hair, not only my hair but also like my cousins, my uncles, my mom, and it was like that until I was like 20, more or less. And now that he's old, like every time that we come, I also cut his hair.
Yeah.
So it started. The pandemic also kind of made like the excuse that he doesn't feel so comfortable to go out.
And also this is shot in the balcony in his house in the Maya. And this is the balcony that he uses as his work studio also to make the projects that he's done together with us.
The framing, I think it's fantastic. It's really nice, the lighting and everything.
It was a sunny day.
When you were explaining outside, I was imagining like a very close-up shot of the but suddenly,
But also the space, because that's the space that he's been working so much in. It is also, the space is also a portrait of him somehow. And then you can't really tell, but on the side you'll have this calendar which says Foyush. And Foyush is the countryside where he comes from, the village. Yeah, then you see the drifts further off the image versus sound.
Acho que este também. Era tudo. Então, e a mim também. Cortava quando era pequeno. É? Não cortaste o cabelo há muito tempo? É. A mim? Mas claro, isso aqui é tudo cortadores também. Pois.
And so I'll talk about past and present.
Eu não sei se a última vez já me tirou a criança.
You got stuck in here.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's so nice with the light outside. Yeah.
Yes, we were stuck in the darkness.
Yeah, and here it's continuous. One more oculista, more photos.
Yeah, we have occupied ourselves into both the corridor and the main gallery. Take up as much space as possible. Should we go into the courtyard?
Yes.
Let's see. Right. Series, both from previous alliterations and from work, the ones that are also being shown here.
So with sounds that span from 2020 to 2025. So going through the 40 sounds gives let's say, it's an extension of the show, a companion of the show, something that you can bring home.
Yeah.
To bring with you a bit of the scanifobétic
Soundscape,
feeling
yeah.
of the
So if you come by,
soundscape.
you can pick one up. If you talk with the Saratanians. Great.
Great.
Then you only have to find a way to play the CD also.
Yes.
Yeah, and here we have it. Yeah.
It's old tech. It's
Old tech.
vintage tech.
It's half
Almost,
vintage,
yeah,
half vintage.
Yeah, it's about like
In
you
Sweden-
have to find a CD player to
We keep
play
telling
it.
everyone that
Or
in
computer.
Sweden right
Which
now,
makes it more interesting that
Yeah.
suddenly you find one and I have a CD.
yeah. But in Sweden right now, it's really popular by the young kids to start buying CDs also.
Oh yeah, it's coming around.
Yeah, because they're tired of having all these Spotify or like rented services online. They want to own the music physically, and the LPs are too expensive and too heavy and take too much space. So suddenly, all those CDs that I threw out,
It's a
are
very
all back in
portable
vogue.
object,
Yeah,
right?
market
Doesn't
value,
weigh
yeah.
much. It's nice format
So I thought it would be very cute to do one also.
and
Plus
still
it's,
easy to transfer
My
to
main
digital.
problem is not having my own place to store.
yeah.
Otherwise, I even like to see them on the shelf. It gives kind of color and
Yeah,
personality
yeah,
to the house.
yeah.
It's- yeah.
Any questions?
I think something I would be curious to hear your opinion. I'm still stuck about this conversation on colors, and
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much related with the fact that you are a duo. And I have a theory. Actually, I often like works of duos. I think I have a fetish with that. and I think it is because the end product is not really a solo ego, and there
No.
is always some kind of weirdness in the final product because it's a negotiation and there are two acts thinking.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Maybe I'd like to hear your.
Well, it's very easy to start talking about that because in our case, we met in art school. And we met during a crisis artistically from both of us about the same thing. I was tired with what I was doing. You were kind of like tired with what you were doing, feeling locked in. And as a kind of like, okay.
And also like with the idea like how do I continue my practice after the school? What is how do I connect with working with a specific medium?
Also, I think also I felt that in my case that what I was doing was defining who I was as an artist, and then was dictating what I could do next. And then we started playing. We said, should we just try to do something together for the fun of it? And the result is not something that we had decided. It's like a third entity comes out of it, and it was very exciting.
It was such a surprise. It
Like
was
the
really
Ouija
like
boards.
Yeah, exactly,
You
yeah.
both put the hands and it goes.
Yeah, and at the same time,
Yeah.
it's exactly like both of like what you kind of imagine it to be, but not at all at the same time. It's like a third hand comes into context and start playing.
Yeah, and very immediately in the first projects we had video, we had objects, we experiment with photos, so there was so many
Performative
different
sessions, yeah.
media
Yeah.
that it was like 1 + 1 was not 2, definitely. That's a bit of a cliche.
And I
but
think
it
we
wasn't,
we
so-
give ourselves the excuse also to go for any stupid idea we want without having any fear of prestige. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we want to do this. Okay, but let's do it. If it sparks for both of us, we go for it.
If we bring something into the table and it resonates on the other one, then we keep
Yeah.
developing that idea. Unfortunately enough, we bring a lot of things to the table.
But
That resonates.
the weird thing with having a duo practice is that I feel that certain works, like this fig works, they've been in talk and production for many years. Like certain ideas just roll for a very long time, so it becomes this after image of ourselves, the practice itself, that kind of develops works a little bit outside of our own control.
Completely, because you can try to control all the variables, but it gets out of our control, absolutely. And then, I don't know, it's hard to answer exactly how the colors come about, but it is in a way like when we look.
We like to make, here's the thing, we like to make shows. We like to build, like, not only to do works and present them, but building the show at the end is something that is really fulfilling and giving, to make an environment.
Which I think you can really feel here about the way you decide to install that it's really site-specific, these curtains, these poles that you have created, the decision of changing the color of the press release. There are so many details that makes it a body and not just pieces that are put in a place.
I think that is the aim of.
We discussed that a lot, actually. That
like-
thing, like, how is it to be in the space? What kind of experience?
How do you move through
How
the
do you move?
space?
How do you enter? What do you see first? What kind of emotional experience you might have during
to
the
create
show?
like a
It's
little universe, but with the works. And I think from that reason, color has become a natural way of, like, perhaps to be very theatrical about it. It's a way of stage lighting.
Yeah, because we also love to work with lights, for instance, in a show. If the space has conditions to work with lights, then we also approach lights, how to change the light experience in the space.
The first color corrected show like that we did was actually with daylight, where we just had a little strip of daylight coming in, and we just had magenta colored film on the windows, so the room would be colored in magenta, and it would then go up and down color-wise depending on how the sun was moving through that side of the wall. It was it created a very lovely environment.
It left such an imprint on us that it was like, oh, we're gonna continue
do
working
more
with
of
this. What's the next one?
Yeah.
So
Which actually is very connected to what you're presenting in the video. This is that there is all this attention to atmosphere, movement. There is all this impression of how the vision works and how the optic works. But there's something still about this element that you put in the exhibition that I'm curious to ask. Like,
Yes, hit.
For me, there is a kind of a feeling of care. There is returning into the exhibition, like as you were mentioning, these curtains that embrace the space, this pole, this sustain the space, and also these themes that you're approaching, like the AD figures,
Yeah.
and the haircut is also something that is really about care. I would like to understand if it's something that is on purpose or is something that is coming out about experiencing these themes of queerness. How did this?
I think it comes up. It's not a verbal thing. I think it comes out of, like, feeling which of the works would work together and how it would work towards space and how to work together. Like which things would come together. I think afterwards, I was saying that before to Carmen. Like, it's seeing the show up, because it's always one thing when you work with something for a long time and then you get to see it, and then you get to see the practicality of it. It's much more clear for me also that you could read it as a portrait of us also, because it's really our, like, the oculistas or occultistas are they are capturing visual things in our daily life. Then you have this return of photos that have almost portrait qualities to them as we are having these interactions. And then we have your father in the video also, which is family. So it is really like a portrait of a slice of life somehow.
And inevitably shows that us as humans, we are not like an island somehow, and that it's all about like taking care of each other somehow. Of course, also being a couple, we are so used of taking care of different things on each other, and
I think it belongs to the mentality. If you're going to talk about queerness in that sense, that as a queer person, you build a lot of family. Like now we have family in it, but a lot of it is actually friends. You build a lot of your extended family through friends. And I think we work in Malmö. Malmö is an amazing place to work in. We have a lot of artist friends that you can connect with, and we help each other out. So it's a practice of being very helpful and changing and trying to connect with each other. So I think that might bleed through a little bit.
yeah, I think so.
At least in this one. Did I give any answer?
Yeah, I think I didn't want to say, but I think you're a very caring person in a sense, and I think
You haven't seen nothing yet. Like you haven't seen what we've done with the space up there yet. We trashed it completely. No. Yeah. But we've been very great. We're very happy to be invited to be both at the residency at Sarathon again and to be able to show in this space. It's been amazing to work towards. A bit bittersweet that it's over.
Yeah.
And then we have this bittersweet relationship when we build a show, then suddenly we leave it. It's like we want to stay in this space.
We love to be in the space. It's like, oh, so egocentric.
Yes, really, like
In the best of the sense, I hope.
in
But
Swedish we call it navelskådning. Like you look at your belly button.
it's a nice belly button.
It's a nice space.
You will go crazy with the sounds, though.
Yes. You should come by and see it. If you're watching this, you should come to Lisbon. You should see the show. It's on between
Until the 8th of June, and now the weather it's blue sky, so it's
and also Sarathon has
gorgeous.
a lot of amazing other programs going on. Keeps eyes up. Yeah.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that is kind of it.
that is it, I think, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.